Well, good afternoon my YouTube friends, it's Margaret and I'm in the grow room. This is the Phalaenopsis that I put into this plastic container. It was in one of those vases and it had developed this white mould. If you remember, you see that white mould there, and it just developed it on the roots that were actually underneath the just bear with me, the rocks, and really I wasn't really too sure what it was, and so I've put it into this plastic pot like I've just explained, and with some of this large bark here, and it seems to be okay. I mean, there's no problem. It's it will eventually just abort this leaf here. It's on its way out now there, and the mould's still there. So what it is, or I don't think there's any detriment to it anyway. And I've just shown you in my garden video that I kept that big large Cymbidium, and this is the only other one I've kept, and this is Ice Nymph by Longonville, and the reason I've kept that one that is outside in this one is I wasn't sure that they went very discoloured, and I wasn't sure actually whether it was sunburn or not. And they're very, very big, these Cymbidiums. If you look a bit closer there, with that pseudobulb, I'm not sure, but it was growing this new growth here, so I thought I'd give this one a chance. And let me have a look at the roots. I think this one had got fairly good roots, and there, they're tucked in there. So I've just got that big one outside now, and I've just got this one in here. And I mean, when Keith bought the Cymbidiums, he hadn't realised when he ordered them for me, and this must be in 2014, and they came as standard Cymbidiums. Well, we were quite naive at that time and didn't realise that standard Cymbidiums are quite huge plants. Now you see, that's the other part of that pseudobulb. It isn't actually rotting, but there's something definitely amiss there. So if I just get up now, I was just on one knee, and I'll take you around. No, I'll take you around the shorter route, and so I don't make everybody dizzy. Now, I've not watered anything in here today, and it won't come to any harm. I may water them this afternoon. Now, you look at that one now there. Look at that, I've caught that. These little cakeys that grow, when I take them into the bathroom to water them, if I catch them, you see. Look at that. Oh dear. Never mind. I'll keep my eye on that one. That one, you see. That cakey's coming along fine now. And that was what I was worried about. These this part here, which had gone brown, but maybe that's a natural characteristic, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm just going to pan you around this way, and I brought the big cat layers I've got in these baskets here, just to show off these blooms now. And this is of course Laelia purpurata, and it's semi-alba, and then it's called Dunkel. And both of them are open now. And now if I put my hand there, I've got quite large hands, So you can see she's an enormous bloom. There's a slight fragrance. I couldn't actually describe the fragrance, but it's very, very pleasing. Now I don't know whether she'll let me get in any closer to that throat, and you can see the veining inside, and very, very nice. The green tips have now gone, and she's gone more white now. So although it's only 2 blooms and it did come with the flower buds, they've not dropped, and hopefully next year, keeping my fingers crossed, and you'll see in there she's got that new root there, and where's this other new, and then she's got that root there, and tucked underneath there, I don't know whether you'll see that, next to that aborted root there, or one of the roots that had been nibbled off, she's got a new growth which looks as though that's going to develop. I don't think she's got anything on this other side. Now I will water this. All I do is spritz them. I don't actually put them and soak them, I just spritz them. This is Pamela Hetherington. This is one of the other ones that I've put in this kind of an open basket, and if I gently, I don't know that I can show you down there, that's got a new growth there, and it's got a new root coming out of it as well. There isn't a lot of bark medium in the bottom, and that one's got a nice growing tip down in there. So hopefully, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that they will produce anything this year, because I don't think for 1 minute they will do, but they're elevated now onto that window and they're in full light, so that's very, very good. And this one here, this is Pastoral Innocence, and look how that pseudobulb has grown. That's the one, if you remember, I put a little bit of a card underneath it just to give that pseudobulb direction, because I wanted it to come this way here, and that's got some nice roots, and you can see that the roots now just need hydrating slightly. So to all intents and purposes, if I pan back this way, you can see the bright light that they have. I'm just going to actually move this one. Just bear with me a minute. I'll just bring it over to this shelf, and I'm always very, very careful now when I'm in the grow room, because I don't want to, there we go, I don't want to knock anything, and these are quite large plants. And that one over here is the no ID Phalaenopsis, and there's that inflorescence now that is just growing out from that card. That's the Aspasia. Quite a few of these now are wanting to be watered, and I'll make an effort shortly. Now if I can reach up and bring this one down here. This is Pendulum, and that was the one that I got the nibbed end, and that seems to be okay now. So if I bob around this windowsill, you see, I say that's the indicator. Now that moss, it's not as green as it was because I don't water it as much, but so that I think there's a little bit of dieback there, and but I'm not experienced enough yet to know how much water I can give this, because that actually is only just starting to dry out. Maybe today, you see the roots are still green, so that's my indicator. If the roots are still green, then there's moisture in there somewhere. And let's have a look underneath. So that's why I'm reluctant to actually submerge this in water, because I don't want to overwater it, but there again I don't want to underwater it, and I suppose that's why it was sold as some experience necessary. So I'm going to put this back up here now. There we go, it just sits up there. And this is that big No Idea again, No Idea Phalaenopsis, and that inflorescence now. I have to just be careful where I stand, because I'm in the bad light here, but these flower buds are now developing, so that will be very, very interesting to see excuse me, how that will develop. If I turn this one round here, this Phalaenopsis, there we go. Oh, excuse me. And this is the Phalaenopsis tritaspis, and that's been there since, well, 18 months, and it's still not doing anything. So I don't know. And of course the big white phal. So let's just have a look on this shelf now. And as I say, I've not watered the mount yet today. Let's just have a look at this one. Now, I believe, now just bear with me a minute. Now can you see that root there? Can you see the other two are green? Now that root has been burnt. Now that is, that's feed. I've not got the, whatever it was, I've either fed them too much and it's burnt that root. Let's have a look at this one. You see that one at the moment is fine, but that one definitely has got a scorched root. And that's where you have to think, you have to step back and think, now what did I actually feed them with last? Did I give them too much? The strength was too much. So that's due to be watered, as I say. Now I'll just tuck that under here, and I'll just have to keep my eye on that one. Then I look, you see, when I see one root like that, then I start to look at the other roots and wonder whether I've got any more burnt roots. And this is the Hieroglyphica. That's doing fine. There doesn't appear to be any burnt roots there. And these are the other Cattleyas. And if you look round there, that's got a green growing tip there on that pot, so I think that one's alright. There is the Phalaenopsis with that new leaf growing there, and I'm so pleased about that, because I can't think now whether it's 2 or 3 leaves this one just dropped, and I was really upset about that one. Oh, this could be another good indicator of the wrong amount of feed. And this is the Laelia autumnalis. Now that's still got its growing roots, the growing tip, and I'm not too sure. Like I say, sometimes you can inadvertently just get the strength of your feed just a little bit wrong, and those roots, because it's so sensitive, those roots will burn. And if I bring this one here, which is Cattleya violacea times intermedia vara rosa, let's just have a look down there. Yeah. Sorry, this was in, I'm having a look. I'm having a look and not keeping you in focus. Let's have a look this way. See whether she's got any new growths coming here. She's got that little one there, and she's got a lot of roots. Now the roots, which you won't be able to see, even if I turn them that way, the roots are fine on this one, but again, this is due to be watered today, so that one's fine. And the other intermediate is, I have it hung up here, and this is in the, this is intermedia by Quinny, and this one is just in lava rock and pea shingle, and yep, that needs watering as well. And that one just hangs up there. So I'm going to just take you around this area now. This is Cattleya L. Attilio Santa Maria, and this has got some nice growing tips. One's gone into that bark there, there's another one there, and this one's on the road to recovery now, because of course this was one of those that was unfortunately affected by scale. If I bring this big one down now, I don't know whether you'll see it here because of the light. Here we go. See how big she is? This is the big, I'll bring it down here. This is that big Coelogene and Berthodense. And let's have a look in here. I pulled something back. I don't know which one it was. I'm very careful. Maybe it wasn't that one, maybe it was that one. No? Anyway, this one's got a little bit of sphagnum moss in there, so although on the top it looks as though it's very dry, it isn't actually. And that's doing really well since I've moved it into this elongated kind of a basket. And maybe if I can bring this one over here now. This is the my only Patheo-pedalum, and this is Path Bellatum by Rothschildianum, and I'm really chuffed about this one, you know, because that's that leaf there now, that's growing, and you can see it's in sphagnum moss. It's not got many roots, but I don't keep it overly wet. That can be watered this afternoon, and but I won't soak it. And that one just sits over here. There we go. That's that new growth on the frag. I think it might be Schroederi or something like that. Well, that's what Ed thinks it is, because this one came from Madeira. So let's have a look. they have been watered and there's just a little bit of water, residual water that's run off there. And that's the other Australian species, Coleogyne. Now this one, it has lots of roots, and some of them, don't know if you can see that, they have like a little fairy appearance. So this one does like to be kept moist, but there again, I think there, I don't know whether you'll see that now, there's a new root there. I'm in my own light now, there's a new root there, and that's probably the first indicator now that I've got new root growth. I have got a new growth there, and I've got one over here. I do struggle with the Coleogynes, I don't know why. So I'll put that one back in there. There we go. And this is the Sedera japonica, which I showed you the other day, which has got those two nice new roots. And of course, because the fan's on all day and we've had the temperatures quite high, everything seems to be drying out. So that's my next job this afternoon, is to get everything watered here in the grow room. That of course is the Cattleya, well it's an LC, and there's those roots there. I'm hopeful, I don't know whether this is actually in the right light, because I was hopeful that I might get a bloom out of this one this year. So that might have to come over here near the window to actually give it some extra light. I'll make that decision afterwards. So I'm going to back around here now. Take you around here. And we'll over on to the other side now. All the Phalaenopsis in these glass vases are doing really well. That was that little one that was in the pink vase, and now that's in this little round vase. The rest are all hydrating. Don't think there's any signs of any flower inflorescences yet, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. And then we've got the original one there with that new leaf. Oh, I've just rubbed past this Laelia then, and I got a whiff of that fragrance. Very nice. So from me to you, enjoy your orchids, enjoy the rest of the week, enjoy your blooms. We'll be back soon. Bye now.